So we're just going to look at a nice simple algorithm and see if we can create a multimeter that measures between 0 and 5 volts using our Arduino pin A0 input signal. Let's have a look at that now. So let's take a look at what I've done here. I've continued on from our previous sketch, which was quite simple, and I've added in a couple of extra things. So what I've done here is I've added a new variable called voltage, and I've declared this variable is a type of variable called a float. A float is a variable with a decimal point. Once again, we have our serial monitor beginning at 9600 baud, nothing remarkable there. And in our void loop, we also continue to have our value, which is first set to 0, and then immediately after, the value is set to whatever analog read value has been taken from pot pin, which of course we refer to back here is pin A0. So this here is the algorithm we're using to convert the value to something that looks more like a voltage. So the first part of this function is the map function here, and this is taking the number that is in value variable, which initially is expected to be between 0 and 1023. We're now going to map that to a value between 0 and 500. And then that operation happens there. And then once that map operation has been completed, we're now going to divide that number by 100.00, which hopefully should give us a number that looks something like, 5.00 volts if we've got our potentiometer all the way up, or it could be something like 1.23 volts when the potentiometer is being turned down. So of course we now need to take that voltage variable and print it out, and instead of sending the value of what's being stored in value here, we are actually going to be sending a string that just labels us its voltage that we're sending out, and then we'll print the value which is stored in the voltage variable. So let's upload that now and take a look at what we get. Okay, so let's have a look now. So my oscilloscope over here, the trace is indicating 0 volts, and my serial monitor also is reporting 0 volts. So let's start changing that now slightly. So I've just wound up the potentiometer a little bit. Over here on the oscilloscope, I'm reporting 800 millivolts, and over here on serial monitor, I'm reporting 760 millivolts. So they're pretty close. Let's go up a little bit. So let's try and hit around 1.5 volts. So over here on the serial monitor, I'm recording 1.53 volts, and over here on oscilloscope, I'm recording 1.4 volts, between 1.4 and 1.6. If we look at RMS voltage, is reporting 1.65, 1.64, which is about 0.1 of a voltage out from what we're recording on the serial monitor. So let's wind it up even more. So my channel 1 average 2.4 volts and serial monitor reporting 2.44. This is pretty good. 2.8 is being reported as 2.89. 3 volts is being reported pretty accurately, and 4 volts is pretty much spot on, and 5 volts is pretty much spot on. Alright, so there we have it. We were able to produce what I believe a sufficiently accurate enough voltage indication on the serial monitor, and I would deem that activity a success. So thanks for watching. That is activity 3 all complete, and I will look forward to seeing you soon in activity 4.